Welcome back to BWO Daily, your source for news in sports, entertainment, and the world of professional wrestling from your boys at Busted Wide Open. My name is Nick Howell.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous, and today we have to talk about Tessa Blanchard. She wanted how much to give back the Impact title? As you may recall, recently Tessa Blanchard was the Impact World Champion, the first female world champion in history. And due to the global pandemic, she was headed down to Mexico with fiance Daga, which is where she was, and she apparently could not come back for Impact tapings, although ultimately she straight up refused to come back and dropped the title, and then her contract ran out. So she's no longer with Impact, no longer the champ. They stripped her of the title, but of course she still had the belt. And according to a gentleman by the name of Dan Beltzer, or Belt Fan Dan, who actually has been a fairly good source on belt-related news over the years, he actually reported that she wanted $150,000 to send Impact back their belt. Their belt, which is why the NWA used to get deposits before they gave someone a belt.
Right.
So here Impact was out on a limb. That's why the title looked different at Slammiversary. It was, in fact, a different title, possibly from the same company that Moose got his title from. Moose actually got his TNA title from a Pakistani knockoff company. And it's not uncommon. If you remember in New Japan, Naito legitimately destroyed the Intercontinental Championship over there. And New Japan also ordered a replacement from this Pakistani company. The IC belt that Evil's currently holding up right now is a Pakistani knockoff. And when they charge for replicas of it, when New Japan charges for replicas of it, it's actually more expensive than what they paid for that actual belt. So it's going around apparently.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is Tessa Blanchard already having a bad reputation. This can't help, can it? Like
No.
That's another nail in the coffin right there.
So her contract's out. She's no longer affiliated in any way with Impact Wrestling, correct?
Nope.
She has their property.
Yes.
Is there something we don't know where she is owed something from Impact and she's holding it hostage? Is the $150,000 figure a value or a sum that she is owed? And she's more like, well, I'll send your belt back when you pay me what you owe me, kind of thing. What do we not know? This feels like we don't know something.
This is a very minimal story from a source who has been right in the past, but is not exactly a news reporter. So let's all take a deep breath, take it with a grain of salt. Let's not assume the worst here yet until we hear some confirmations. But this is the story that's coming out right now, that she is holding the Impact belt for $150,000. Didn't get it. Impact got another belt, so she ain't not gonna get the money.
They were like,
So,
yeah, nah.
Nah. Pakistan exists. We don't need it.
Right.
In other news, Ric Flair says he has tested negative for COVID-19, but his wife has tested positive. What? Wendy Barlow, Ric Flair's wife, apparently has tested positive for COVID-19. We know this because Ric Flair told the New York Post. They were calling Rick because he was spotted out and about in Georgia. He went out to Starbucks to get a coffee, paid for it at the window with no mask on, and they were calling him to ask about that. And he admitted that his wife had tested positive, but he was still negative, so everything was okay. And then when they continued to question him, he hung up on them and just texted them that his health was fine. One of his other statements was that, hey, we have a 5,000 square bedroom house. I live in the basement, and the wife's on the third floor. So apparently everything's okay. Rick, what are you doing?
Rick, if
dude.
all of the listen, if I can talk to you for just a second. You have been my hero and my idol for more than 30 years. You are my all-time favorite wrestler, promo guy ever. Please don't after what you've been through in the last 5 or so years, please don't let this be the thing that you can't kick out of. Okay?
Everything else he kicks out at 2. But COVID's got the leg.
COVID gonna put its feet up on the ropes, okay?
Right,
so listen,
exactly.
Just like you did plenty of times. But my point is that don't let this
COVID
be the
is the
thing that
dirtiest
takes you
player
down.
in the game.
You've
COVID is now
defeated
the
everything.
dirtiest. Yes. Oh my God. So everyone, please keep your fingers crossed for Rick. He's still going to WWE every week and doing stuff there with Randy Orton. Hopefully they're testing him. Hopefully he's right and he is negative and he can stay negative in a house with someone else who's tested positive. Apparently Moxley did it, so I guess it's possible, but Ric Flair's a lot older than Moxley and a lot more at risk. So keep your fingers crossed for the Nature Boy here.
That said, Ric Flair has more lives than I have fingers to count on. So he's gotten through all the other things that he has in life. So
that cat has a bunch of lives. The question is how many he's already spent.
Yeah.
And then finally today, a little quick note here. Eric Bischoff was interviewed about his time back at WWE last year, and he was asked specifically if he thought Vince McMahon was out of touch, which is a sensitive question. And I'd like to say that Bischoff just shot hard on Vince McMahon, but he was actually pretty diplomatic about it. He said it was a hard thing to answer. Obviously, he doesn't want to burn any bridges further than they've already been burned. But he said Vince is committing to a formula that has already had a whole lot of success for the wrestling industry as a whole. And you can't look at anything he's done and not say that Vince is amazing and has done a whole bunch of incredible stuff.
I agree with that. We say that here on the show frequently.
We do. I mean, you've got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
But then Eric went on to say that there is some reluctance to adapt to new formulas in the ever-changing nature of entertainment. He understands why there is that reluctance to change, but there is a difference between resisting change and being out of touch. Out of touch, this is a direct quote, out of touch suggests you don't understand the psychology of storytelling. You just don't understand the product as it should be presented in today's environment. I don't know, man. I've watched WWE, and we question all the time their storytelling or how the product should be presented. Vince was apparently very hands-on in the eye for an eye match that we just all witnessed. We all bore witness to this last Sunday. And apparently, initially, they were going to do CGI, but Vince thought it looked too crap, so they went with the way that we saw. That's why it was all kind of chopped up the way it was at the end. So Vince still very much hands-on. Eric thinks that he's not out of touch. He's just resistant to change, but still knows how to tell a story. Take that at face value for what you will, coming from Eric Bischoff, who was only ever successful in the business for about a 5-year period. He also said that they have to please the advertisers at WWE. They can't do certain things because of that. Like what? I don't know, rip out someone's eye? When he was asked if people were scared of talking to Vince backstage, like if they were nervous about, confronting him about things, Eric said that he didn't really want to go there, but that Vince was a larger-than-life personality, and he could understand why people would be intimidated by that. So conversely, we have Gallows and Anderson on the other side saying, we tried to go to Vince. He just didn't want to talk to us. He didn't want to hear what we had to say because of who we were. But, so still some controversy out there. Eric Bischoff not willing to shoot hard on Vince, giving him a pass. So, nice guy.
I feel like he's had plenty to say in the past, and he's probably got plenty to say now, and there's probably a tongue-tying NDA revolving a very large payout or dismissal that's keeping him, what's the word, behaving? Bischoff not known for keeping his mouth shut is what I'm trying to say. Or he's
saving it for his own podcast, 86 Weeks podcast, where he can then he can get the views on his show. So we'll see. Yeah. But anyway, Nick, that is the news today. Quick happy birthday to Fabian Eichner, who's turning 30 years old today. Happy birthday, sir. Have fun in Imperium. You're doing a great job so far. And that is our show, Nick.
Well, thank you very much, Sir Ian Dangerous, and thank you guys for joining yet another episode of BWO Daily. Make sure you subscribe by pounding that big red button down below and set your notifications to all so you get notified every day when we put up a new episode of BWO Daily. Plus, you'll get notifications when we go live on Tuesdays and Saturdays for our main shows, as well as any pay-per-view recaps such as what we just did on Sunday with the horror show Extreme.
Horror show at you got it.
My name is Nick Howell. You can find me on Twitter at Data Center Dude.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous. You can find me on Twitter at Sir Ian Dangerous.
And we will see you guys next time.